What is up, guys? Nick Daniels here, and in today's video I'm going to be sharing my experience on renewing my South African passport in Vietnam. We all know how annoying it can be if you've lost your passport, if you've damaged your passport, or like me, your passport's about to expire and you really just want to get it sorted out. I'm going to let you know the process I went through, the costs involved, and exactly what you need to take to the embassy when you get there. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Some housekeeping notes just before we get started. All prices will be in VND. I will put the South African equivalent there as well on the screen. The prices were mid-March, so they've obviously changed since then. Mid-March 2021. Third is this is the cost from someone from Saigon coming through to Hanoi. And lastly, if you find this video useful, please like and subscribe as it really helps me to boost the channel. To start the whole process off, I had to book my flights from Saigon to Hanoi. This cost me 1.3 mil and I booked them about a week in advance. I then had to get a taxi from my house to the airport and this cost me 130k. After landing in Hanoi, I decided to take the local bus to keep the costs down. This cost me 40k. The local bus is a big red bus that you will see as you walk out of the airport. You can opt to take a grab bike or a grab taxi. However, Noi Bai is quite far from the old quarter and it will be really expensive, especially if you're traveling by yourself. Accommodation where I booked was a place called Zifa Boutique Hotel. This cost me 700k a night, but the reason I booked it is literally across the road from the embassy. Very easy to get to. It was walking distance from everywhere. And I was in and out of Saigon and Hanoi in one day, so I just wanted to be convenient and just be right there. That evening, I decided to go for dinner. A friend, shout out to Luke Harris, he recommended a restaurant called Sente, which is a vegetarian restaurant for all you vegetarians out there. It cost me 165k for dinner that night. I will put the link, the Facebook link for Sente down below. Day 2 came around, I woke up, and because my appointment for the embassy was only at 10, I decided to go to breakfast. I went to this beautiful restaurant called Lifted. They make incredible smoothies, incredible shakes, and incredible breakfasts. It is a little bit more on the expensive side though, and this cost me 220k. However, I highly recommend it. After breakfast, I went over to the embassy to get all the nitty-gritty stuff done. I'll put the address of the embassy down below. When you get to the embassy, there will be guards there at the bottom of the building doing COVID checks, and they will make you sign in. They will escort you to the right floor. I think it was the 3rd or 4th floor if I'm not mistaken. As you walk in, you will see a big cutout of Nelson Mandela. Kind of made me a bit homesick. You also see our South African flag there. A little bit homesick, but happy at the same time. What you will need for the embassy. Make sure you phone the embassy and book an appointment before. If you don't, you will not get in and they will not help you. Secondly, I advise to take your own black pen. The reason for this is because there might be other people at the embassy using their pens and it just makes the process longer for you, and all you want to do is get started and get out of there. You will need to take 4 passport photos, size 3.5 by 4.5 centimeters. If you forget to take them, don't panic, don't stress. There is a place just up the road you can get them done. I suggest just asking the lady at the embassy and she can help you. Take both passports if you are a dual citizen. For me, I am a dual citizen. I have 2 passports and I nearly forgot to take mine. And thankfully, I did not get sent home. I have had an experience in the past when I flew all the way to Hanoi to get an affidavit done and they couldn't help me and it was just a waste of time. So make sure you take both passports as you will need information on both if you are a dual citizen. A tip, when you are filling out the forms, do not press too hard as they are carbon copy. And if you press too hard and you get your fingers and stuff on them, then you're going to have to redo the whole thing again and the process is going to take longer. You will need certain information about your parents, guys. You will need to know where their place of birth is, their date of birth, their ID numbers, and I will put a picture up on the screen. They send passports in batches once a month, so my advice would be to get there early in the month so that yours gets sent out straight away. The whole process takes about 2 hours. It took me about 1.5, but it generally takes about 2 hours, so be prepared to wait that long. The cost for the normal passport is 1.3 million dong, and the cost for the maxi passport is 1,674 dong. Now I highly recommend getting the maxi passport. It's only an extra 300 74k, and it lasts for 10 years. You cannot pay at the embassy, guys. I don't know why. South African logic. I don't know why they don't let you just swipe your card. But what you have to do is you have to leave the embassy. You have to go to Shinan Bank, which is just down the road. I walked there. You can catch a grab. You have to go and deposit the money into the South African account. They will give you a receipt. And now it's very important that you take that receipt back and give it to the lady. And then the waiting game begins. So after the embassy, I still had some time to kill before I needed to get back to the airport to get on my flight. So I decided to go to a local restaurant which was recommended by a friend in Saigon called Cha. And they basically serve local Vietnamese fish. It was delicious. It was 120k. Now to get back to the airport, I wanted to make this as cost effective as possible. So what I wanted to do is I went over to the bus stop outside the post office next to the lake in the old quarter and waited for the 86 bus. This goes straight to Noi Bai airport. There's a couple stops on the way. Supposedly supposed to come on the hour. It took a little bit longer for me. So what I would do is I would give yourself enough time to get to the airport and onto your flight so you're not late if you do decide to take that route. Alternatively, you can get yourself a grab. But like I said before, if you're traveling by yourself, it can be quite costly. When I got to the airport, I was still hungry. So I decided to get myself a pho. This was an extra 85k on the side. The final cost was the taxi home when I landed in Saigon, and this cost me 127k. Alright guys, the final costs. I'm going to give you 3 breakdowns of the final costs. The first one is my total, but please bear in mind that this can be cheaper if you don't eat like me, if you stay in different accommodation. But this came to a whopping 4,599,000 dong. Just under 3,000 rand. The second total cost, I'm just going to give you the cost of the passport, the flights, and the accommodation without any spending money. And I'm also not going to give the cost of transportation, as this may differ from person to person. This cost came to 3,672,000 dong, which is about 2,000 rand. And the final cost is just the cost of the passports alone. So for those of you who live in Hanoi and are lucky and your embassy can help you there, our consulate cannot. The cost of the normal passport, as mentioned before, is 1.3 million dong. But I recommend getting the maxi passport, which is 1,674,000 dong. Now guys, if you are in a rush to get your passport and it's about to expire, there is an expedite service called Travel and Visa, which is a group you can search on the Numfee group. And you can get in touch with them. And this costs around 4,000 Rand, I believe, on top of your original costs. And apparently they can get it done within 2 months. I was very fortunate. I went and I decided not to do the expedite service, and I've received my passport just yesterday on the 10th of June, which is just over 2.5 months, and I just did the whole process myself and waited patiently. I have heard that recently the waiting period has actually shrunk to 3 to 4 months. I believe I got really lucky, some of my friends as well. But I have heard that it can take as long as 7 months with COVID and everything going on. Overall, I'm just happy that my passport arrived in 2.5 months. I'm really grateful for that. If you guys found this video useful, please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below and give me maybe your experiences or some troubles that you've run into. That way we can all share and make this process as easy as possible, because no one likes to renew their passport. Anyways guys, happy passport renewal and peace out.